homelessness has increased 38%. When did the Prime Minister simply give up and say, you know what, a tent is good enough?
Welcome back to Moose and Loose. My name's David. Today we've got a jam-packed show here. We've got Justin Trudeau flirting with the commissioner of the WNBA. We've got Pierre Poilievre destroying the Liberals. We've even got an Independent just goes off and rips the Liberals in the House of Commons. So let's get started here.
After 9 years, this NDP Liberal Prime Minister is not worth the homelessness and hunger. He doubled the debt, increased taxes, and caused inflation, but said it was all to fund generous programs that would end homelessness. Well, homelessness is now up 38%, and a quarter of Canadians are skipping meals because they can't afford them. That's because his greedy government is consuming everything Canadians earn. Why is the NDP and Liberals forcing Canadians to feed this morbidly obese government instead of feeding their families?
Mr. Speaker, our government is actually focused on keeping inflation low so that interest rates can come down. And I will note that inflation has come down below the targeted range of 3%. And at the same time, Mr. Speaker, we have Budget 2024. We have supports for renters. We have supports for affordable housing. We have a national school food program on the table, Mr. Speaker, and we will continue to support Canadians with dental, with early childhood education, all the while the Conservatives vote against. Mr. Speaker, there's no plan on that side of the House. We will support
the Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
She repeats the same costly promises the Prime Minister has been breaking for 9 years. Mr. Speaker, in a 6-week period, 50 homeless encampments have opened in Toronto. Let that sink in. There are a total of 256 tent cities in Toronto alone.
Oh my goodness. Appalling.
It wasn't like this before this Prime Minister, and it won't be like this after he's gone. Will he admit that everything is broken after 9 years of his government?
The Honourable Minister of Health.
Of course, Mr. Speaker, when that member was a minister and had responsibility for housing, that there were more than 2 million more Canadians living in poverty. And the number of times that he talked about vulnerable people or taking action to help homeless, 0. He wants to hold out to people in a time of difficulty across the world that the solution is to cut the programs they need, to take away dental care, to take away pharmacare, and shame on him for it. We will stand up for vulnerable people in a way he never has.
Ooh, bad take there, mister. Ugh. Mark Holland, man. You're the Captain Maid. This guy is just, the hypocrisy is unbelievable. Next up, Michelle Ferreri stands up and, wow, she's a pretty passionate speaker and she just obliterates the Liberals here.
Peterborough Kawartha.
Mr. Speaker, maybe that minister needs to fight for Canadians by actually listening to them and talking to them. Because after 9 years of that Liberal NDP Prime Minister, things have never been worse. Canadians are more hungry and they're homeless. The Parliamentary Budget Officer confirmed what most Canadians already know, which is homelessness has increased 38% despite them promising to end it. But wait, it gets worse. From the front page of the Toronto Star, City to prioritize larger homeless encampments in new strategy as number of tent cities grow citywide. When did the Prime Minister simply give up and say, you know what, a tent is good enough?
Let's take a look at that article. Of all the places to run this article, the woke Toronto Star, City to prioritize larger homeless encampments in new strategy as number of tent cities grow citywide. Come on, government. Jeez. The city says it's focused on rebuilding trust with outreach workers. As a number of homeless encampments in Toronto grows, City Hall is proposing a new strategy that puts more housing resources towards a handful of larger camps, while also using security to prevent new tents from being erected. The endeavor, which came at a cost of $1.7 million in the first 6 months, resulted in 97 people moving into housing, City highlighted in its reports on Wednesday. So yeah, basically they're trying to do some stuff here at City Hall, but obviously there's just too many immigrants coming in, too many foreign workers, too many foreign students. Our system is just getting crushed.
Thank
Mr. Speaker, I've said it again. Once again, we hear the Conservatives stand in this House and profess their support for Canadians. But I have to tell you, Mr. Speaker, that's not what we see day after day.
What is so funny? Why is she laughing about this?
Put forward measures like the National School Food Program to ensure 400,000 more children have access to food at school. What do we see, Mr. Speaker? The Conservatives vote against.
This Prime Minister promised to end homelessness. The result of the posturing, long-term homelessness is up 38% because Canadians can't afford a place to live. More Liberal help like this will produce greater misery for Canadians. Funding gatekeepers does not end homelessness. Hear, hear, hear.
Exactly. Bunch of bureaucracy and waste of money. It's stupid. In this session here, it goes back and forth with a whole bunch of people, including some of these liberal crumb snatchers that you don't see much of. It goes back and forth in French a lot too. We got a couple more clips of importance to take a look at.
Our government stands proudly on the side of Canada's Charter of Rights and Freedoms. But if elected, the opposition, the official opposition, could become the first federal government to create laws that knowingly violate Canadians' rights. They would do this by invoking the notwithstanding clause, trampling on our charter. As a parliamentarian, but even more as a Canadian, I find this simply chilling.
What is simply chilling is what Justin Trudeau has imposed. Trudeau is taking away so many freedoms. He has a bill, a minority report bill, where if they think you're going to commit a crime, they can put you in jail. They can give you life in jail for hate speech based on anything you've said in the past. And they get to determine what that hate speech is. This is just appalling.
Will the Minister of Justice please elaborate on the importance of protecting...
Oh, please, Minister of Justice, can you tell us more? I hate these bootlicker comments.
No federal leader has ever done this in Canadian history. Our government enacted the charter. Our government stands by...
This is nonsense. We don't listen to this fool. Finally, the last clip of this session, we have the Independent Kevin Vaughan step up and out of left field just completely obliterates the Liberals.
Now, Fort York.
Mr. Speaker, congratulations to the Liberal government. Congratulations on achieving the highest interest rates in 2 decades, on sustained high food prices not seen since the 80s, and reducing Canadian living standards to almost the lowest levels in 40 years. Mr. Speaker, spread out over 20 years and beyond the next election, Budget 2024 solves nothing. Yes, Mr. Speaker, Canada has come a long way since 2015. Unfortunately, it's in the wrong direction. Given a long list of failures, will the Finance Minister resign, take the entire cabinet with her, and go paint leadership posters for Mark Carney?
The Honourable President of the Treasury.
Mr. Speaker, our government is focused on keeping inflation low so that interest rates can come down. We have a fiscally responsible plan, and we will continue to maintain strong economic...
We don't need to listen to this garbage from Anita Nand. It's the same crap. He just totally wrecked them. Look at them. And you can hear the scoffs and the Paul in the I don't know if it was the upper viewing deck or if it was from the Conservatives, kind of like, whoa. But yeah. Well said, Kevin Vaughan. That was unexpected. Jumping out of the House, take a look at this clip here. This is just a little kooky, but funny. It says here, Senate committee releases report on seal populations.
I mean, at one particular time we're being told there's 6 million seals. At another particular time, maybe 7 or 8. It fluctuates. And I realise it's not easy to count 7 or 8 million seals. But the knowledge that we do have is that they eat other species of fish, whether that's cod, whether it's crab, whether it's something else. As in the words of a former federal Minister of Fisheries and Oceans from Newfoundland and Labrador, Minister John Efford at the time, the seals are not eating Kentucky Fried Chicken. The effect that they're having on the ecosystem and the other fisheries is very prevalent.
He goes on to ramble about this, but that's just what the KFC clip I wanted to throw in there. I don't know what is going on in this interview. It's really annoying because somebody seems to be talking or something throughout it. Next up, we got another clip here from Cpac that Keenan Bex posted. This is a guy from the Counter Signal. Basically, this has to do with immigration, and, well, let Mark Miller say it for himself.
Under the new legislation, children born abroad to a Canadian citizen who is also born outside Canada will be a Canadian citizenship from birth if their parent can demonstrate they have a substantial connection to Canada.
Ooh?
As long as a Canadian parent who was born outside of Canada has accumulated 3 years of time spent in Canada before the birth of the child, they'll be able to pass down their citizenship to their child. Finally, we wanted to take this opportunity to continue to minimize differential outcomes as much as possible for children born abroad and adopted by Canadians compared to children born to Canadians.
So if somebody, say, moved from South Africa or, say, India, we all know this is where this is going to be a problem potentially, comes to Canada, lives here for 3 years, goes back to India, has 16 kids, moves back and bring all 16 kids. Like, I just have a feeling that people are going to be fudging documents and records, and this is not good. I mean, there's certain cases where this is good, but you need a system to make sure this is proper, not, I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below. I haven't really had a lot of time to think about this one and really think of the repercussions or ways people can abuse the system is really what we need to be thinking about here. Next up, we got a clip here of Justin Trudeau flirting with the WNBA commissioner, because that's a thing. I guess he is a single man after all, but I thought he was more into boys than girls, but I don't know. Posted on Justin Trudeau's ego, today I flew to Toronto for the announcement of the new WNBA franchise in Toronto and to have my picture taken. During my speech, I awkwardly tried to flirt with the WNBA commissioner, and it was as cringe as it gets. Maybe I should just stick to dudes.
A great day today. Good morning, everyone. It's a real pleasure to be here with Mayor Chow, with Premier Ford, with our Canada's Minister of Sport, Carla Qualtrough, my friend, who's been working very, very hard on this, Canadian Basketball Hall of Famer, Tammy Sutton-Brown, and so many of you who worked tirelessly to make this exciting day a reality. WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert, thank you so much, Kathy, for all your leadership, for being here today. You're much taller than Gary Bettman. I'm really gonna like working with you significantly. And of course, Larry Tannenbaum and Teresa Roach. Taller than Gary Bettman. I'm really gonna like working with you significantly.
That's just the wrong word, Mayor, and it just sounds gross and creepy. Significantly, huh? Oof. Leave it to Justin Trudeau to just weird out and creep up the place as usual. We gotta check the comments on this one. As awkward as it was, I want to give you credit for not that word. Any of the reporters in the audience. We know how hard it is for you to resist. Why are the feds involved? Are they subsidizing the franchise fee? And WTF with the shot to Gary Bettman? How's the missus? They're getting divorced. Ew. What's a WNBA? I had no idea there's a franchise. Is it the first one in Canada? I don't even know. I don't even know how many cities that the WNBA play in, honestly. Cringe. Why would the PM make a comment about working with the commissioner of a sports league? Surprised the team wasn't named the Toronto Trudeaus. Tugmeat must be furious with you. Now to mix things up, here's a dog being saved by a guy in a boat, because everyone likes dogs. Yeah, that's a good boy. Next up, we have a meteor flying through the sky in Portugal. Wow, that is impressive. Next up, we got a clip here. A grandfather extracts his granddaughter's tooth in the famous local way.
Stop! Wait!
Wait, you don't want to shut it? Is it there?
It's out!
Heading over to my group here, let's see what kind of memes we've got today. Captain, we've just been contacted by the dumbest life form in our known galaxy. On screen. This one is on point for the announcement today. Burn back better, an unglobal initiative. This post here, at the stroke of a pen, 85,000 new Liberal voters. That's the immigration thing. That's interesting. So if you have, I don't think there was a limit on what Mark Miller said If you're, say, someone who's in their 60s, you could bring over whatever kids you have that are in their 20s or 30s. That would potentially make a lot of new voters. They're trying every tactic to get voters. It's just appalling. Please, sir, I want some less. Yeah. I'm surprised the Liberals haven't rolled out an official Liberal gruel for Canadians to eat. But you have to pay for it, and you'll be taxed on it. I saw this one earlier. BC Ferries gets $75 million loan to replace electric ferries it bought for $260 million in 2020. So basically, they want to purchase 4 fully electric ferries. So we'll see what happens with this. I can say on the ferry, it really sucks with the diesel gas coming out. It's brutal. So if this works, of course, they probably won't do any testing, any research or anything, and just buy it and hope for the best like they did in Edmonton with the electric buses. This is interesting. So it says Trudeau was photographed having a meeting with Susan Delcourt of the Toronto Star as she prepares her next article trashing Pierre Poilievre and praising Justin Trudeau. It was a free lunch. It was also worthy to note that she was on the board of Trudeau Foundation at one time. Such unbiased journalism. You're sad because the carbon tax is starving your family. Would you like medical? Oh, it's a little too close. Justin Trudeau with Canadian taxpayer monies is like trusting Homer Simpson with someone else's donuts. Yeah. I enjoy the memes in here, but I do like that you guys are posting random articles and stuff too. So by all means, post what you like in here. Just don't post stuff that's too spicy, and you can't post anything that critiques Mark Zuckerberg, and I'm not even joking about this. Those automatically get removed. It tells me in the back end, anytime it critiques Zuckerberg, it removes those posts. Well, that's where we wrap up this episode. Let me know in the comments down below what your favorite part was. Kevin Vaughan just absolutely destroying the Liberals. You got Justin Trudeau flirting with the commissioner of the WNBA, or Pierre Poilievre destroying the Liberals. Anita Nand. Behind the scenes, a lot of the Conservatives are digging up more scandals. They're linking scandals. There's more stuff coming out, so stay tuned. This is just going to keep snowballing as we go through the year here. There's really too many scandals, I think, for the Conservatives to dig through at this point. So they're kind of just picking and choosing, it seems like, because there's just not enough people. Thanks for watching the end of the video here. I greatly appreciate it. Be sure to subscribe and hit the thumbs up. Ring the notification bell, all that, if you want notifications of when my videos come out. We'll keep fighting for freedom here, and I'll see you guys in the next one.